Hello everyone and welcome to the Fourth and Forever podcast, this time coming to you from two separate locations in the Wellington region of New Zealand. Darren, come in Darren, do you read me?
I do, yes, I read you loud and clear.
Excellent, so if this newfangled technology can all come together and work on what is probably our most important podcast to date, then we may never need to see each other face to face again, which is a massive win in my book.
Oh, yep. I can't steal your beers though if I don't see you in person. So.
Yeah, and I've yet to come round to your new place and steal all your beers yet. So
yeah,
maybe once I've gone around there and raided your fridge, then we might start doing it this way.
Yes, sounds good.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Okay, well, the 2019 NFL Draft is officially in the books. So it's now time for every football outlet the world over to be teaming with their own draft analysis and hot takes and, oh, they did this wrong and they did that wrong. But here at Fourth and Forever, we are the real single source of truth and wisdom. So please, won't you join us as we recap some of the more notable selections from over the weekend? And I guess we should just jump right into it. Of course, the first pick in the draft was made by the Arizona Cardinals, and they made the not so shocking decision to pick up Kyler Murray, quarterback out of Oklahoma, who, of course, we nailed it in our pick.
Perfect.
That absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, it was took all our knowledge and acumen and footballing ability to pick that one.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, I mean, we won't need to dwell on that one because everyone's going to be talking at length about Kyler Murray and stuff like that. But we'll probably talk a bit about Murray as we go through some of the Cardinals' other picks.
Yeah. Because
they basically decided that they're going to throw everything at making this air raid offense work. So we'll talk about that as we go through.
Yeah.
Then the San Francisco 49ers selected Nick Bosa, defensive end out of Ohio State. We nailed that one as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's it. Yeah, that's it, guys. No need to analyze any further. We'll catch you next time. No, seriously. Okay. So after this point, it didn't quite go the same way as we had predicted.
Yeah. Well, because they didn't draft down or they didn't trade down. So.
Yeah. So then, the Jets went with Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle out of Alabama, which is a good big body, have up the middle, very disruptive, blah, blah, blah. But then came the first surprise pick of the draft, as the Oakland Raiders picked up Clelin Ferrell, or however it is you pronounce it. Ferrell. Yeah, I'm sure it would be. Defensive end out of Clemson. Now, we do see him as being a very good player, but everyone was a little surprised. They don't want to diss on Cleveland, you know?
Yeah.
But number 4 Raiders? Really?
In the end, I just feel like they knew that they wanted this guy, and they just wanted to make sure they got him without needing to give up other, picks and assets later on, because in the end, if they'd done their analysis and he fits into their scheme, and he does look a very good player. He's been to 2 championship games in the last 2 years. He's,
yeah.
Strong, gets off the block, but is he Josh Allen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's where everything went to shit, really, I thought. Because Josh Allen, he seems like the one who would be a steal and work in any system, and I thought they would just be nailed on to go for him there. But
there is a difference between playing for Clemson and playing for Kentucky, though, and I think maybe that's something that Mayock and Gruden have looked at. But in the end, once and analysing who's going to get picked before it happens is that's great. As soon as it happens, I'm really of the opinion that we don't know what these boys are going to do,
No, of course not. Like that could end up
50
looking like an
chance
absolute
in
steal.
the first round. So this boy could end up being amazing. And I think a couple of writers from Sports Illustrated that have already said that we're all going to look stupid in a couple of years with this guy. So
there's every chance that he could actually by himself end up getting as many sacks as the Raiders did last season.
Oh, he's definitely gone into the right situation. It's like going to immediately make them better. But
yeah, exactly.
How good could they have been? Really, is if they'd got someone else. It's he's got a great opportunity. I don't think he was expecting it at that 4, so he'll take that extra couple of million a year. Raiders will happily pay him it for some reason, and
oh well, yep. So following on from the Raiders, then the Tampa Bay Bucks took Devin White out of LSU. Now,
I had that in our analysis. I said he would be the perfect pick. And I was right. But then our buddy mock draft, you chose someone else. So
yeah, well, in my mock draft, I would have gone for Devin Bush all day because I knew that Quinnen Williams wasn't going to be there. Sorry, Devin White, because I knew that Quinnen Williams wasn't going to be there. But then when Quinnen Williams was there, I just thought I couldn't let him go any further. So let it be known that had it panned out to this point, I would definitely have gone for Devin White to Tampa Bay. But we're not going to give ourselves any points or a pat on the back for that. That's not how our system works. But then, oh boy, New York Giants, number 6, select Daniel Jones, quarterback out of Duke. Now, we did know that they would go for him, or at least I certainly called it, but I think my phrase was something along the lines of, even the Giants aren't stupid enough to go for him at number 6. Well, what do you know? They are. But I'm going to give myself a perfect for that one, just because they picked him in a different spot. I'm still just going to say, yeah, the Giants did pick him. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that.
What I don't understand is who were they competing against to get Daniel Jones?
No one.
Like if they'd come out with this draft with Daniel Jones at 17 and Josh Allen or Ed Oliver at 6, then, or Jonah Williams at 6, would we have? We'd probably called it quite a good draft. They
absolutely
didn't need to take him at 6, and if I was the Broncos, or they in the end were going ahead a bit, but they did end up doing this to another team. But I would have been like, yeah, we'll take Daniel Jones at 10 just for the shits and giggles, and and get some assets to get traded down, just because that's maybe what they were thinking. Maybe going from other teams like, oh, Daniel Jones, yeah, he's great. Yeah, we were thinking about him. Well, not really.
Yeah, and then
we're just telling the
turning
Giants,
away. Once Dave Gettleman's gone round the corner, they all burst out laughing and start high fiving each other, going, "Get a load of this guy!"
Yeah, look at you, Jags. You're gonna have Josh Allen on the table.
Yeah, there was so many places they could have gone with that, which would have been, in our minds, a far better pick. Like you said, Josh Allen was there.
I don't see the difference with getting Buddy Stidham or getting Greer or getting any of these white boy quarterbacks that were all sitting there. Like there were so many options. They could have got them later. Picking them up at 6, and it was pointed out on another podcast that Daniel Jones was terrified. He was terrified. He didn't want to go at 6.
He's in a terrible situation.
Yeah, he was expecting to go mid-second round and go to the Giants and get to learn. Going at 6 means that they're expecting him to start in 9 games and after the bye, and I just can't see it. And he can't. You could tell from his interview he couldn't see it. So we've got a lot of work to do on the boy's confidence. I think the New York media and the fans and that will really get him down, and it's going to be up to Eli and
it's a big market. Yeah, it's a big market, and there's a lot that's got to go right for him there to succeed. But we wish him all the best, because he's gonna get slated quite a lot if he does not. Nope, not his fault at all. Moving on from the Giants, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 7, taking Josh Allen, and wow, what defense that looks like now.
Yeah, I know. It's terrifying. And so if you look at it, they've got the boy they picked up a couple of years ago at linebacker that was a bit of a steal, because he said to the media just before the draft he had to have surgery, and he ended up going to the round 3. I think it was Miles Jack.
Yep.
And then they've got Calais Campbell, and they've got, now they've got Jonathan Allen.
Talon Smith, Jalen Ramsey. They're like
Boye.
Yannick Ngakoue. He's there as well. Like it's a defense that could really rebound this season, especially now that they believe they might have something more to play for.
Well, they were playing in 20-yard games. They kept getting picked off the first couple of plays of a drive and being left with like only 30 yards to defend. It's not, you're not going to get out of that if you're already in your red zone. The fact that they got games, I think they won a game 6-0 last season. Good defense, and they're just adding talent. And there's not really much you can say about Josh Allen other than he didn't play football until his final year at college, and final year of school. I think in America it's college.
Yeah.
Of high school, and then he's just smashed it. I don't think he played at Kentucky until his last 2 years, so he's gonna learn his upside. This is why I don't know why the Raiders didn't take him. He's just gonna, as soon as he gets a full-time NFL coach, and maybe gets one of the old Jacksonville greats to give him a bit of one-on-one coaching and that, then he's gonna really build really quickly.
The sky is truly the limit for Josh Allen.
It's just a slam dunk for him.
Yeah, I think we had them going for Jawan Taylor here, which I still would have maybe had them going for. Had Josh Allen not been there.
Apparently he's injured. Apparently he's got a sore knee.
Boo. Well, me
yeah,
too.
It's not a knee that would be fine by the start of the season, but
it was enough to make teams question it.
Yeah.
They did end up picking him up later on anyway, in the second round. But with that injury, I had no idea what was going on, and just seeing him plummet down the draft boards, and I was just like, whose cornflakes did he piss in to get him off of everyone's draft boards? But an injury would explain it. Okay, so moving on from Jacksonville, you then have the Detroit Lions taking TJ Hawkinson, so they clearly like their big tight end up that way. Then we had Ed Oliver going at the perfect position in Buffalo.
I had a quick question about the Lions. Are they absolutely sure that Matt Stafford's going to play this year?
I think so. I mean, obviously his
Drew
wife's
Holiday,
having those problems.
Drew Holiday didn't play for the Pelicans when his wife had the same thing, and I think they're, if that gets worse, then what kind of shape's he going to be in? Yeah, his wife's got a brain tumor, so.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation for them to be in, but of course that's just something it's a real life situation that's happening in Matt Stafford's life that they're just going to have to account for. But no, I really don't know. There was a lot of talk about them potentially picking up a quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, well, they haven't. That's why I was kind of wondering aloud, because even if it was just for a year rental or something, then just to make sure there's someone there that knows the play for them. They've got their business. They have to keep going.
Of course,
as clinical as that sounds, but it's a shame because I think they've picked up some really good weapons aligned. So hopefully everything's okay. And
yeah, fingers crossed for the Stafford family. So moving on from them, we had the Buffalo Bills picking up Ed Oliver.
Oh, slam dunk. That'll be fine.
Yep, slam dunk. It's all good. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers traded up with the Denver Broncos and picked up Devin Bush out of Michigan, linebacker. Now, I reckon the reason they wanted to do this is so that they could get ahead of Cincinnati, who would clearly have been going after that sort of position because their defense absolutely stinks. So that probably happened. Then the Bengals would have just had their heads in their hands. But
they also picked up a couple of extra picks, which they used in the second round to do what they did. So
very nice.
So very good maneuvering by the Broncos.
Yeah, I was really happy with the way that panned out for the Broncos, but we'll come to that in a moment.
What do you think of his outfit?
Devin Bush?
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't see it.
Oh, Google it now.
I'm Googling. Pause, listeners.
Or, go onto our Twitter page and have a look at the picture.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, that's an interesting ensemble.
Yeah.
What even is that?
I don't know. He's so high on some of the NFL teams' boards that they were really high on him in the draft coverage and that, and didn't hear much. But I think he's just going to be a very solid player from a solid system, and he's going to get it. Good player to pick up, especially if it stops one of your division rivals from getting him.
He was one of the top two linebackers, and then it's just a big drop off after that, really, to anyone else who would be considered to be real solid at that position.
The only other one we had on our list was Mac.
Mac Wilson, who ended up
like the 6th round or something. So
I think it was 4th round at the Browns. I think it was.
Yeah, it's a massive drop off.
Big drop off. There was plenty of other ones here, but for those interior linebackers, you get great ones like Devin White and Devin Bush, and then after that, it can be a dime a dozen. If you have a real game changer in there, then fantastic. But otherwise, you can just plug and play some of these guys. Just make them be a tackling machine. Don't ask them to think too much. Just be the guy who sits in that area, picks up anything that comes through from the line. But these guys can be playing differently than that. We did call Devin Bush being picked by the Steelers, but back at 20. So we're going to give ourselves a perfect for that one.
Perfect.
Then was Cincinnati Bengals picking up Jonah Williams. So he was the first tackle off the board. Then the Green Bay Packers got Rashawn Gary. Pretty big risk there.
I saw him holding the Packer uniform. I was just like, he's going to be good.
You just have a feeling, yeah?
Yeah. It just seems like a good mix. He's from that area. He's from Michigan. He's from that division, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
It feels, or he's from Ohio, I think, but played for Michigan. It's just,
you think it makes sense?
Yeah, I just had a vibe as soon as he stood up with that uniform and the reaction he had. The thing is, people were triple teaming him at Michigan, and they were scared of the hype, I guess, around him.
Yeah.
And when you're in college, you can kind of take risks to cover that one person a bit more, which is probably why Winovich did so well in some situations. Winovich's a great player, but I think it's kind of the same with Flowers and that at the Rams. If you're triple teaming Donald, then other people are going to get free and make plays. But yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think they can teach him. 12 might be a bit high.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because it's one of these things that only time will tell. But I
think
he's clearly got all the physical tools, but he needs to develop more moves, because at the moment he's just a bulldozer.
Got a bull rush.
Yeah, that's it.
So because their next pick was the 27th pick, I think got traded.
Yeah, well, they ended up trading up to the 21st.
Yeah, so they knew the two players. They must have known that the Raiders were looking at the players they liked as well, and they just had to keep getting ahead of them to pick them up. But yeah. I just had a feeling as soon as he stood up and picked up that uniform, I was like, okay, we're going to be looking at him and looking at Clelin Ferrell, and it's going to be, why was he taking 8 places behind?
Probably. Well, I've got a little bit of a beers prop with a friend of the show, or certainly a friend of mine from back home, Stephen Hope, who is a Green Bay Packers fan, and he's insisting that Rashawn Gary will end up being a better selection or a better player than Chase Winovich in terms of production.
So take into account scheme play.
Well, we're gonna figure it out as we go, because there's no surefire way of doing this just yet. But
still PFF grades.
Yeah, well, PFF grades, but what if Chase Winovich gets a whole bunch more sacks, but he's inconsistent? I don't know. We're gonna go for the eye test. We'll analyze a couple of things and just be honest with each other. At least I'd hope that Steve could do that. We'll see. Anyway, moving on, because we spent too much time on that. The Miami Dolphins picked up Christian Wilkins. Yeah, solid defensive tackle.
Solid, really killed Goodell. Good boy.
Yeah. Great leap. Goodell, I don't think was quite expecting that. I really enjoyed that.
I think his life flashed before his eyes.
Yeah, I think he blocked out the sun.
Yeah, he did retweet it though, Goodell.
Yeah.
So he
Bless
took
him.
it in good spirits, but I think he
Yeah.
was a bit scared for a second.
Definitely. Well, wouldn't you be with a 320-pound defensive lineman
I'd
just
have gone for it. I'd
leaping
have
up
been
at you?
knocked 10 metres the other way. I would have just gone hard.
You-
These boys are having a great time.
You would have gone over your ankle or something like that.
Leave my ankle alone. It was not my ankle I hurt.
Or foot or knee and everything else. You just disintegrated. Anyway, after that, the Atlanta Falcons then picked up Chris Lindstrom from Boston College.
Solid as well. NFL pedigree, lineage. He'll be fine.
Yeah. The Falcons went pretty hard in on linemen. We'll talk about a few more of them later on.
He's also
then
from Boston College. He also already knows. I think his brother's mates with Matt Ryan. So I think he,
Oh, it would make sense.
so they Boston College put up a thing of Matt Ryan scoring a couple of touchdowns, and then put up, we got the boy to save Matty Ice, or protect Matty Ice. So the social media game is on point. Yeah, it just
Sweet.
makes sense. You always want your center to, or your guard to have a good relationship with the quarterback. And
Yeah, good start.
yeah,
After that, the Washington Redskins tried to trade up into the top 5, but they didn't make it. But then they still managed to get their guy anyway in Dwayne Haskins. So this looks like a pretty clear indicator for me that they're ready to just move on from Alex Smith, who had that devastating leg injury the other season. And Haskins is gradually finding himself in a decent situation in Washington.
Well, if they get everything, if they get a good offensive coordinator, they're going to be looking at their shotgun. It's going to be in about 6 months, 12 months time. They're going to have Geis, Bryce Love, Jordan Reed, and then a couple of wide receivers. They've got quite a solid setup now. They've got a few weapons, a few tools.
Yeah, just keep him clean. Don't make him run around, and you could have a real good pocket passer setup from doing.
I liked Haskins. I just didn't think he was ever going to the Giants. I just didn't think he was going to go to the Cardinals. So it's like that thing. This draft just wasn't very quarterback strong.
Yeah,
but he's a good player, and he's from Washington. He's from the DMV, as they say, District of Maryland and Virginia.
yeah.
So they he's solid. He'll do fine. I don't know when he'll start though. I think the over/under is. I feel sorry for Case Keenum again, but that's just his job. I feel sorry. He's getting $9 million this year. He got like 17 last year. So
Case is happy. He's all right. He's getting paid. I wouldn't be surprised to see Haskins actually go in as day one starter.
especially if he's mates with Dan Snyder's kids.
Yes, it would certainly not surprise me. But if you can afford to let him develop and have a little bit of time, then fine. But if he comes into training camp and he's clearly the better player, he's going to start.
Yeah, he's going to be solid.
Yeah. Speaking of solid, the Carolina Panthers then selected Brian Burns, defensive end at Florida State.
This boy, man. When he stood up, that you from Remember the Titans. We got ourselves a football player.
Yeah.
He looks like a football player. No stupid outfits. He just had the clean suit. He looked good. He was tall. You're like, yeah, Brian
Sharp.
Burns is a football player. You can tell he's going to be solid. He's going to go straight in, Luke Kuechly, give him a hand.
Yeah. It's going to be good to help get the Panthers back on track. They're beginning to leak some of their older players out to other places. Thomas Davis is gone, and some of their other defensive ends just haven't quite lived up to earlier expectations. So yeah, Brian Burns, nice slot in there. Then after that, we had the New York Giants, who got that pick. So this is what they got for Odell Beckham Jr. Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Now, not the worst player, but we would say that's a bit high for him. But also, where's your offensive lineman? You gotta get one. You gotta get one of these days.
I just feel like he's a good player, but I think the NFL in some ways is moving away from the type of player he is. Like if you look at sit him as a defensive tackle and put him up against Geno Atkins and Aaron Donald and Ed Oliver.
He's not a lean man.
No, he's a big boy. He was like bursting out of his suit he was wearing on his on the day. He's a big boy. I don't know. He's gonna try and block the line. Do you not need someone a bit more athletic in there.
Well,
these
obviously,
days, so.
obviously, he's still an athlete. He's like his size kind of belies his actual true athleticism. He's still he's a big guy, but he can still move.
You know, he got his scholarship taken off at Met because he was too big. He was like 390.
Jesus.
When he
That's a
got
big boy.
to Clemson, he was 390. They told him he couldn't play and went to take his scholarship off him. He lost like 80 pounds in like 6 months. Got down to 310, and I think he's like 330 now.
Yeah, well, if you weigh 390 pounds, then your shins are just going to give out because you're not meant to move fast and have well, you're just not meant to carry that sort of weight. Period.
I feel big at bloody 95 kgs. What's 380? That's like what 150.
I don't know. I think I'm something like 170 odd pounds or something like that. So that would be more than two of me, substantially. That I think right now he's probably about more than two of me. So
yeah, but
like
athletically more than two of you.
Shut up.
Don't worry, he can't swivel and shoot like you can. You've still got that ahead of him.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
We need to get that one back in my arsenal. Anyway, moving on from them, we've got the Minnesota Vikings picking up Garrett Bradbury, center of North Carolina.
It's fine.
Yeah. We just said much needed O-lineman. Wasn't the O-lineman that we thought, but we got O-line right, so we'll give ourselves a half point for that.
Hey, that's pretty good.
And the Tennessee Titans took Jeffrey Simmons out of Mississippi State, which is a bit intriguing because he could be out for quite some time, but they're obviously willing to wait.
I don't think they're in any rush with him, top 5 talent. He's obviously like the ESPN, obviously they're quite political when they want to be, and this is the issue I had with watching their coverage. But they made it clear they want to show the video of what happened with him when he was at high school. And I get it.
Would you like to clarify that for the listeners a little bit?
No, so I haven't seen the video. I won't watch it. But pretty much, there was a fight on his street or in his house or something. 2 women started attacking his sister, so he got involved and he used his size to win the fight. And he got charged with assault and stuff like that. But everyone, apart like some teams have taken him off their board, but everyone in the SEC that looked at him and everyone that's kind of been working with him since then has pretty much said, look, it was a one-off situation. He was worried about his sister's well-being. He was just a 17-year-old, We can't take that out on him forever. And he's been in the community. He's captain of Mississippi, and one thing I wonder is that Tennessee is very close to his hometown. I kind of feel that Seahawks had taken him. I'd be like, okay, cool. Well, he's on the Northwest. There's not much trouble he can get in. But when some of these players do get picked up by hometown teams, or there's still with the same groups and stuff like that, that's maybe a little bit of a flag. Like they're gonna have to keep an eye on him. Maybe you'll have a case person from the team with him quite a lot.
Maybe.
Well,
that's of course if we still think that that's something that he's
I don't think it is,
but
I
don't think so.
Everyone's kind of getting burnt just now on this stuff. So
yeah. And we'll talk about someone getting particularly burnt a little bit later on in this. So moving on from Jeffrey Simmons, who, by the way, we did see D-line there, so we'll give ourselves a half point for that one too.
Hey, that's pretty good.
We make the rules.
He's going to be a better player to me than Lawrence is. Like Giants can't play. Well, technically they can. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I can't.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I decide this for him, but
I don't think even he decided. He just threw darts at a board or something like that. Anyway,
like it.
Yeah. So the Denver Broncos traded back to the 20th position with the Steelers, and then they managed to pick up probably the most athletic tight end in the draft in the form of Noah Fant. So yeah, I said earlier on that I wasn't happy with the Broncos picking up a tight end at the 10th spot, but I think at the 20th spot, this is pretty tremendous value, and considering how much Joe Flacco has always had success with tight ends and how much he's going to help stretch the field here, it makes plenty sense, especially when you consider how the Broncos went with their third pick. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, I would go as far as to say that this pick was fantastic.
Oh God.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I did it. I did it. I don't need to say anything else. Bye. No. Mic drop.
So yeah, he'll be a good weapon, and
yes,
apparently can block sometimes. So yeah,
sometimes.
Denver did a good one there. If they wanted to get him anyway, then they got more picks and got him anyway. So
well done, we used the leverage well done. Yeah, Albie had a good one there, I think. We won't talk about him too much there because there's obviously going to be more Broncos chat still to come with me helming it. So the Green Bay Packers made some trades and they got up to the 21st pick, trading with Seahawks, where they picked up Darnell Savage, safety out of Maryland.
Did you watch the NFL Network coverage?
I watched most of it, yes.
Apparently, according to PFF, Ian Rappaport from the Rap Sheet had absolutely no idea who Darnell Savage was and spent about 5 minutes talking about everyone else except him.
Wow.
When they asked him about him, because he hadn't done any research on him at all.
Wow, imagine that. Imagine having someone that you've never heard of before, like, David Long.
I knew who David Long was.
I didn't.
But this is the thing, like they were saying, like, just because you don't know who he is doesn't mean you can just talk about Addersley for 5 minutes, even though he wasn't picked at 21.
No, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, so
Savage was a big riser on draft boards. And also, we did get safety right for Green Bay, so we're going to give ourselves a half tick for that.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that pick there. Obviously, it makes sense since we said get safety. They obviously listened. We did say Nasir Adderley, but Darnell Savage, we just keep hearing great things about him out of Maryland. Mm-hmm. Moving to the 22nd pick, the Philadelphia Eagles traded with the Ravens and picked up Andre Dillard, offensive tackle at Washington State. Now, some people are putting this down as being the best pick of the first round, as he'd be Jason Peters' heir apparent in Philly. Hard for us to say because we're not big O-line gurus or anything like that, but from what we've seen, we really like the look of Dillard, and Philly seems like a good place to put him. It's like someone who can go there and potentially protect Carson Wentz for the entirety of his career.
Yeah, he'll be a good player.
Yeah, I think
just
so.
Got to protect the franchise.
Yeah, that's the one. And we got O-line right for that one as well, so another half point.
Hey,
and then
that's pretty
Houston
good.
Texans. Dan, did they pick David Long?
No, they didn't.
No, they did not, because that would have been bloody stupid.
Howard in the bloody 5th round. Don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, strange one there.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think, everyone that does this analyst stuff, like, you can get the PFF big boards and you can watch tape and you can keep an eye. I think we're not in there. These guys do it all year as a job.
Yeah.
They get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep an eye on O-linemen from bloody whatever school he's from.
Alabama State in this case.
Yeah, so they know more than us, you'd think, you'd hope. And
now, credit to Ian Rappaport for this one. Yeah. Credit to Ian Rappaport for this one, though. Like, shortly before Houston made their pick, he did say, now, we really feel as if they will be going for a tackle, and watch out for Titus Howard out of Alabama State. And I was just like, who, what? Okay. And then when the pick came in, I still don't know. So this is one, like, the jury's out, but they made what they believe is the best selection in order to save their franchise in Deshaun Watson. So again, time will tell there. We did think that there was far better prospects from what we've analysed, but they maybe know something we don't. Come on.
We'll see.
Yeah. Then the Oakland Raiders, who got this pick from the Bears, they picked up running back Josh Jacobs out of Alabama. So we saw that one coming. We're going to give ourselves a perfect for that one, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect situation. They needed a running back. He was the best guy available. And he'll go in there and be an instant contributor.
Yeah. I'm looking at their next pick. But they were always going to get Josh Jacobs. I don't think that was theirs. any stopping that really. But and they got a defensive end. They just didn't get the one I thought they'd get. I thought they'd get Gary at they'd get Gary at 27, but he was off the board by then. They got a defensive end at 4.
Yeah, fair enough.
I actually wonder, and just can speculate, if they wanted Gary at 4, but they couldn't bring themselves to, explain it at 4. So they took someone they could explain a bit better because he's from Clemson and
Okay, yeah.
it's very similar players. I wonder if that's why they picked Farrell. Like they knew they wanted a defensive end, but they weren't gonna take Gary and then have to deal with it. So they kind of hoped that Gary would be there at 23 or 24 or 27, but he wasn't.
Maybe. I guess we can go ask Mike Mayock. We'll get him on the show next week and he can explain himself.
I'm sure he'll answer.
Yeah, I've got him on my phone. Old double M. So yeah, the Raiders, that was their second pick of 3.
Yeah, they've had Latavius Murray and Richard and some absolute nonsense at running back. So now they've got themselves a bell cow, I think. So.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs could be solid. Really, really good out the backfield receiver as well. So yeah, it's looking good for Derek Carr in Oakland at the moment. A guy who many presumed would be on his last legs there, but they're putting weapons around him now. You got Antonio Brown, you got Josh Jacobs. You're picking up some offensive line help as well. It's going somewhere.
Yeah, it'd probably be worth going back and watching that. QBU with John Gruden, the one that had Derek Carr on it. I think be an interesting insight into how he's feeling about Derek Carr. He just seemed to be with him, but it's like everyone says, all the quarterbacks are coming out next year. So
yeah, maybe that's what they're waiting for.
Probably got one more year to do it. But when he had a good team around him, he got them to the playoffs. So
yeah, I think we both still like Carr. We both hope he does well. Well, sorry, I'll rephrase that. I quite like him, but not with the Raiders because I'm a Broncos fan. But yeah. So 25, but the Baltimore Ravens, they got this in the trade with the Eagles, where they picked up Marquise Hollywood Brown, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. So a friend of the show, again, certainly a good friend of mine for as long as he's been around, Andrew McConaughey, he's a big Ravens fan, and he was really hoping at this point he'd be getting DK Metcalf. But when Hollywood Brown came up, I think he paused for a moment, thought it over, and then said, yeah, I'm okay with that, which is tremendously positive for him because he is really, really big into his analysis of these guys, and he usually rips the Ravens apart. But he's liked their draft, and he thought that this one was a really good start. So probably a good weapon for Jackson on your slants and your jet sweeps and stuff. And he would be a great downfield burner as well. But Jackson can't throw outside the numbers yet. But yeah, it's going somewhere.
Yeah, Metcalf down the field. I don't know if we can say that with any real certainty that Lamar Jackson has the accuracy to find him. But it's what they were saying, on PFF, and that's that. These players like AJ Brown and Marquise Brown can get the ball off a slant and go.
Yeah,
Deebo Samuel as well. Like they can get it and they can go, and that's better for someone like Jackson because it means he only has to throw the ball 11 yards. And they'll still get a 30-yard play rather than needing to always throw it to someone like Metcalf 40 yards down the field because they've only got one trick. Whereas, this is someone who can line up as a crossback, can pull out, can go like go wide, but also come in on the slot. So I think it's a good play. I don't know about Hollywood Brown.
He's dangerous.
Yeah,
there's a few other players I might have looked at. Fast man.
But he's probably going to be good. But he's going to get all the opportunities. He's going to be one of the only wide receivers on that team. I know they picked up a couple in later rounds, but if Crabtree's still there, he should already be better than Crabtree. So
no, I think Crabtree's gone. Is he?
Yeah. Well, they're saying that there's literally no one wants to play for no wide receiver looking for a long-term contract is willing to play for the the Ravens because they're just not going to get the stats. So they
Michael
had to do
Crabtree
it
is
in the
currently a
draft.
free agent.
Yeah, they had to do it in the draft.
Yeah, so they did good there, we think. Speaking of doing good, the Washington Redskins, they traded with the Colts and they picked up Montez Sweat, a defensive end out of Mississippi State. So, yeah, we're thinking this is a really nice pickup at this spot. And
it's gonna be
I
absolutely
really,
fine.
really feel that he could do some damage there.
As I sent it to you, the team they're building, they're going to have Sweat, Collins. They're getting quite a bit on that defensive side. With the Redskins.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going the right way about building it now, I think. Yeah, it's not always so much we can say there, I think, but
still,
we like it. And then the last of the Raiders' 3 picks in the first round, they picked up Jonathan Abram out of Mississippi State, safety. So we didn't really see the Raiders going for a box safety this high, but all right, I guess. Seems a really good player, but I would have thought that they would have found more value somewhere else, personally.
Yeah, I think that as you start to get to the second round, it was getting quite same. So, if they really like this guy, then why not take him here? His tape is very impressive.
He's a big hitting missile of a safety. He'll come over and he'll lay a lick on you.
Mississippi State were having a party. They were really enjoying themselves this time around. Did they get 2 or 3 in the first round? And I think they've got a
that was 2
more.
back to back there.
Yeah, so they got a few more coming up as well. Just very impressive.
Yeah, they were doing pretty well this year. Speaking of doing pretty well, with the 28th pick, the Los Angeles Chargers selected Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle out of Notre Dame, which I nailed this one right on. Perfect pick.
Perfect.
Is there a klaxon or a buzzer? I'm going to see if I can get something to put over this, some sort of sample, maybe a hallelujah. Yeah, I'll just take it. Yeah, that was good. The fact that he made it down that far, they'll be absolutely stoked with that. And what a crazy front that looks like in Los Angeles now. You got Joey Bosa, you got Jerry Tillery, Brandon Mebane in the middle there as well, and you got Melvin Ingram on the other side. Where do you go? That's horrible.
They're still not going to beat the Pats, so it doesn't matter.
True that. And they do later on pick up another good safety, but we'll get to that when we get to that. After the Chargers, they had the Seattle Seahawks, and they picked up LJ Collier, defensive end out of TCU.
I've no idea. I don't know who he is.
TCU.
I don't know. Texas Christian University. Yeah, you'd probably be good at football.
I guess so.
So, we're in New Zealand. We do this. We're good at it, I think, but I don't know anything about Collier. So, have fun with that one.
Yeah, I guess so. Good luck, Seahawks. They obviously saw something they liked.
He's meant to be a really good player. As soon as he came up, he asked him, like, "Oh yeah, he's this, he's that," and I was like, "Yeah, you guys have got producers and you're feeding you stuff because you weren't expecting that."
Yeah.
So, because they obviously get it like a minute before they announce it, so they have all the stuff ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they did a good job of selling the fact that they knew who he was a bit more than they probably did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seahawks, they play good. They get good picks. I think most of the value for them, similar with the Patriots, comes later in the draft. So
yeah, I was amazed they finally made a pick because they traded down something like 3 or 4 times to get to this spot.
Yeah, well, they only had 4 picks in the whole draft. So
yeah, and then they ended up with something like 12. So they clearly see their value in just seeing what sticks and picking up more guys. Which
they've got a couple of Hall of Famers that they picked up in 4th and 5th round and stuff in the last few years. So
it can happen.
Like Cam Chancellor was going around the room, in the green room, and speaking to everyone that hadn't been picked yet because he got picked up in the 5th round and he's a Hall of Famer. So it's I guess in the NFL it's more if you get picked up in the first 3 rounds, you get more opportunities to prove it.
Yeah,
I think if you come in like the 5th to 7th round, you have to pick straight away. You have to hit the ground running. You don't get many opportunities because they don't have a lot of money tied to you. But if you're a good player, you're a good player. But
Yep. They've obviously got all the tape on this guy.
Maybe that's how they've done it. They've picked him up in the first round, knowing that they'll need to give him time, and they can pick up guys later that they can just see who sticks and get rid of them, move on.
Yeah. So they got that in a trade with the Chiefs, and I think maybe at the end of this round we might briefly discuss the situation going on in Kansas City. But in the meantime, the New York Giants, via multiple trades, picked up DeAndre Baker, cornerback out of Georgia. So still no offensive line help for that porous offensive line. I'm quite frankly amazed by that.
They've learned the lesson on Eric Flowers. I think they're not going to pick up an O-lineman.
You just think that they're burned by that, so they're just not going to bother getting any offensive linemen ever.
Yeah, not in the first round, no.
Oh man, well, we'll see. But they did pick up DeAndre Baker, so that's the first cornerback off the board. We still don't have any Greedy Williams or any Byron Murphy. I personally probably would have preferred Byron Murphy at this spot, but Baker still solid, and they did need another cornerback in there. So I would like it if they'd already got an offensive tackle, because I just feel that that's just too glaring a need right now.
Yeah, and then to rub it in, the next pick.
Yeah, and the next pick was the Atlanta Falcons traded up with the Rams and picked up Caleb McGarry, offensive tackle out of Washington.
He looks like a character.
You think so?
Yeah, did you see his the little blurb they did on him when he got picked?
No.
He's like a farmer from Washington. He's never left Washington other than to play football.
Oh,
he's got
cute.
a big white boy beard, big farmer. So
yeah, I'm having a quick look at him now. He seems like an interesting one. So yeah, good for him. First round pick. Good work, mate. And to close out the first round of the 2019 draft, the New England Patriots picked up wide receiver of Arizona State, N'Keal Harry. So no Gronk replacement, but that was always going to be tough now and impossible to do. But they definitely needed players out wide anyway. Now some people say that he can't separate, but he can certainly go up and get it. So yeah, New England obviously see a lot of value in him.
Yeah, they actually have got themselves a playmaker, which they don't usually do this early. I think it's kind of showing that little change in their mindset. They got Michelle last year, get Harry this year. But as with all things, their quality in this kind of thing comes later in the draft. What they pick up later on usually gives them success for long term. So
yeah, Patriots don't need first rounders.
They could have gone for a number of wide receivers here, and it would have been good because it's just getting more in the door for Brady to play with. But they were never going to go for Metcalf or something here. So
no, they want a wide receiver, not a shipping container.
Yeah. So, but to be honest, N'Keal Harry is the most similar to Metcalf, I think, in terms of going up and getting the ball. Got that size. So yeah, I like it.
Okay,
it's good for
cool.
them.
Yep, so that'll do it for round one there. And just going back to what we were saying very briefly about the Kansas City Chiefs. So we were under the impression that the issue with Tyreek Hill, there were some domestic abuse allegations there relating to how his young son broke his arm. And they were all just dropped. It was all going to be okay. And then as soon as that happened, then some rather disturbing audio clips were released, which immediately reopened this investigation. And Tyreek has now been sent home from the Kansas City Chiefs facilities and is currently not anticipated to be part of the Chiefs' plans or programs until further notice. So it's looking increasingly likely that Tyreek Hill is maybe no more for the Chiefs and perhaps no more for the NFL.
That's it. He's done. And he doesn't deserve to play in the NFL if that's the way it is. I kind of, anyone wants to go and listen to Mike Golick talk about it on the Friday morning, Golick and Wingo. They had a 2 3-minute cut from their show on their Twitter page. This man's 6'6", he's in tears. He's like, how can we keep letting this happen? How can we keep letting these guys play in the league?
Yeah.
Don't want monsters in our league. I've had enough of it. Get him out. He's a jack off. Get him out. And he just walked off the set. So I think he's done. I don't think
massive waste of talent, and it's something that we've seen before.
This audio, this stuff, this is neglect, it's assault, he's done. This is not, disciplining your child. This is terrifying your family, and it's domestic violence. So
yeah, it's something that we really cannot have in today's society, let alone in the NFL. And it's something that they need to take a stand on. And whether the Chiefs have to do it first or the NFL does it, I can see him just being gone. It's probably like a Ray Rice situation. He could just be out of there. That's it.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that it does look, because obviously this audio was a kill switch. The case got dropped, and then this audio came out from a friend of his partner.
Yeah.
So he probably was, maybe he could have been getting blackmailed about it, but he did it. So it's not like, when it first came up, people were like, oh, it sounds like it's, something that's coming up because, he might not have done it, but he's being accused of it. And, it's just to kind of, these kind of things. But then, no, he did it. This audio proves that he did it. And even if the original kind of reports were true, then he still can't play in the NFL. You get these audios. He's done. It's done.
Well,
he's gone.
I should be the one to point out that it is still innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the court of law, whether that will mean anything to the NFL, because we've seen people get proven innocent before, but then they still take the course of action which they deem more necessary. But yeah, people can't be allowed to get away with this sort of stuff. So we'll see how that all pans out. Anyway, that'll do it for round 1. So we will pick up with the rest of our analysis. Now, round 1 was pretty comprehensive, flick through each pick, but going forward here from now on, we'll probably just skip over a couple of other players and look to get through the rest of the entire draft in one fell swoop. So please join us next time and listen to all of our other content, because it's amazing, 5-star stuff, which will have you riveted, and you can go back and you can find out whether we got things right or not. Of course we did. Anyway, yes, tune in next time. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.